Hey guys, UltimateTCG here, bringing you my Red Tyrannomon Deck Profile. As the name suggests, this deck revolves around utilizing the Red Tyrannomon cards that we got in Booster 1.0. So, yeah, I personally didn't really like the Green Tyrannomon variant all that much. It's interesting, but it always feels like it's missing something. The Tyrannomons in that deck all have, like, relatively low DP. And Rust Tyrannomon, and I just wish Rust Tyrannomon, I think, was it like 11 or 12,000 DP? I'm not sure. I just don't really like the green variant. But Taiga is really useful, since he can give all your Tyrannomons piercing. But I'll talk about him more in a second, so... Let's start off the deck profile with our Digitama deck. We play 4 copies of Babydomon. And what Babydomon does is, if it's in a Digimon source that has piercing, it gives that Digimon 2000 DP. So, for example, if we have a Metal Tyrannomon with it in its source, and we have a Taiga on the field, which gives our Tyrannomons piercing, our Metal Tyrannomon will have 12,000 DP, making it as strong as a, let's say, starter deck Wargreymon. I think that one has 12,000. But, yeah. If you boost it then with a card like Agumon as well, then you can just beat over literally any 12k level 6 Digimon, so pretty useful. Anyways, our 5th Digitama is Yokomon. You can also just play 4 Babydomon if you don't like playing a 5th Digitama. I just prefer having another Digimon so I can Digivolve for free one more time. But yeah, Yokomon's also just a mini version of Babydomon in a sense. It's more generic. What it does is that if you're attacking a Digimon with the Digimon that has Yokomon in its source, that Digimon gets 1000 DP. So yeah, it essentially does what we want Babydomon to do, since we will be attacking opponent's Digimon if we are able to. Okay, since we're done with the Digitama deck, let's move on to the main deck. Starting off with Guilmon. His inheritable skill is that if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, the Digimon that has Guilmon in its evolution source gains 1000 DP. So, yeah, that's another card that you can combo well off with Yokomon or with Babydomon. Optimally, Babydomon. To boost your Metal Tyrannomon, Dark Tyrannomon, and, well, regular Tyrannomon. And it's essentially just a, well, less generic version of the starter deck Agumon that we also play 4 of. It has essentially the same effect. Guilmon is like a late game version of this card. What it does is just, it says, during your turn, this Digimon gains 1000 DP. So, relatively simple. For the rest of our level 3 lineup, we only play 4 copies of Monodramon, as well as 4 copies of the starter deck Piomon. And, well, they're just generic level 3s that both cost 2 to hard play and have 3000 DP, so they're essentially the same card. The reason we play this many level 3s is because we just don't play that many, well, level 6s. So if we need to, we can kind of go into like a rookie rush playstyle. So let's say you start off your hand with a lot of level 3s, you can still beat down your opponent. This is very aggro focused. So, since we're done with the level 3s, let's start with the level 4s. Starting off, we got Tyrannomon, of which we play 4 cards off. What he does is that he has jamming. So if he deletes a Digimon in your opponent's security that has a higher DP than itself, it won't get deleted. And before you ask, yes, this also works when you do a security check with piercing. Our next level 4 is the Dark Tyrannomon. It's just a generic level 4, but it has a low evolution cost of 1. Which means that if you come out with Taiga, you can Digivolve Dark Tyrannomon like you would a level 3. So you just Digivolve for free, generate card advantage, and you can Digivolve into Metal Tyrannomon the same turn. So yeah, this lets you get out Metal Tyrannomon really, really fast. The last level 4 that we play in this deck is, well, 4 copies of Cordramon. Literally any red deck that I've seen plays 4 copies of Cordramon, just because it's literally the only red blocker that we currently have. Our first level 5 is our boss monster for this deck. Yes, it's not a level 6, obviously it's not a level 6, since this is a Tyrannomon focused deck. I was originally playing Gallantmon in this, but I just think this is faster. So, yeah, if you focus too much on Gallantmon, you have to play Red Tamer if you want to use its deletion effect, but whatever. Yeah, what Metal Tyrannomon does is that it's also a vanilla. It's essentially just a bigger version of Dark Tyrannomon. It has 10,000 DP. So, like I said, if you come out with Babydomon, 12,000 DP on a level 5. Makes it as strong as a level 6. So, yeah, screw level 6s in this build. As long as you have a Taiga on the field, Metal Tyrannomon won't have any problems stomping over smaller Digimon, or in some situations even level 6s. Other than Metal Tyrannomon, we only play 2 other level 5 cards, which is the BT1 Metal Greymon. And the only reason we play it is because, first of all, it's cheap to hard play, it only costs 6. And also because it has the memory borrow effect, which means that if you attack with it, you gain free memory, but if you turn ends, your opponent also gets free memory. So essentially you're borrowing free memory for a turn, but this can be used to combo well. So for example, let's say you have a Metal Tyrannomon on your field, and a Flower Cannon in your hand, as well as a, let's say, Metal Tyrannomon, and a fully set up Metal Tyrannomon, or just a Metal Tyrannomon and your opponent has a low TP Digimon. As well as a Taiga on the field, you attack first with the Metal Greymon to give you free extra memory, and then you just activate a Flower Cannon to rest the Digimon that you want to beat over with your Metal Tyrannomon, then attack with your Metal Tyrannomon, do a security check because of piercing, and your opponent's Digimon is deleted. So yeah, you can also, well, do Flower Cannon and then play a Puppetmon. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can utilize Metal Greymon, giving you more memory, so yeah. Anyways, we only play 5 level 6s in this deck, which are 3 copies of Volcanic Dramon and 2 copies of Puppetmon. Volcanic Dramon is used in a lot of decks as a tech option because when you play it, you delete any Digimon that has 4000 DP or less, which is most of the level 3 lineup of the Digimon card game currently. So yeah, it's mostly used to counter your Rookie Rush. You can also evolve into it, like for example, you don't want to use your Metal Greymon anymore, just evolve a Volcanic Dramon on there, and then you get Security Attack +1. So yeah, even if you don't use it for its when played effect, Volcanic Dramon is still really good. Other than Volcanic Dramon, we play 2 copies of Puppetmon. I mentioned it in the combo earlier, and what Puppetmon does is when you play it, you can, if it's well timed, essentially skip your opponent's turn. It has a very high play cost, but you know, its effect makes up for it. Its effect is that it rests one of your opponent's Digimon, and during his next turn, in his active phase, those Digimon can't become active. Well, not specifically those Digimon, I'm saying like all of his Digimon can't become active during the next active phase. So what that means, essentially, unless your opponent has a way to make a Digimon active again, like for example with the blue Garurumon from BT1, they won't be able to attack during the next turn. So that makes Puppetmon really good. Also, Puppetmon has the effect that when he's attacking, you get +1 memory. So he can also help you gain memory advantage. Since we're done with the Digimon, let's talk about Tamers and option cards. We only play 4 Tamers. Oh well, for some people that's more than you actually need, but in this Tyrannomon build, that is what you need. We play 4 copies of Taiga, just to make sure that we play the most amount of Taigas that we can have, so we can see him pretty much every game. Either in your security, so it gets played for free, or in your hands, so you can just play it. For every Taiga that you have, you can reduce the evolution cost of your Tyrannomons. That would be, you know, Digivolving on your Agumon, Piomon, Monodramon, or did I say Gilmon already? Whatever. On your level 3s. If it just evolves on any of your level 3s, you can just rest one of your Taigas, reduce it by 1. The more Taigas you have, the less evolution cost your Tyrannomons will cost. So for example, I already told you with Dark Tyrannomon, if you rest a Taiga, becomes 0. If you use one on a Metal Tyrannomon, it becomes a 2 cost level 5. So yeah, really good to do some memory control. For our option cards, we play 4 copies of Gaia Force. Since it's the best removal in the game, it just generically says delete an opponent's Digimon, and it activates from the security, as well as 3 copies of Flower Cannon. I would play a 4th copy, but I'm not sure if I should take out any of my Volcanic Dramons. If you want to play a 4th copy, it's up to you. I'm happy with 3 copies currently. Flower Cannon, everybody pretty much knows it already. If you actively played the DCG in the past few months, well, pre-release, you know, like it officially released a few days ago. What Flower Cannon does is that if you play it from your hand, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon, and just to make sure, I don't know if all of you already know like the rules of the game. I assume you do. But unless you have a green card on the field, you cannot use green option cards. So Flower Cannon has a potential to turn into a brick, but since you play this many Taigas, it'll rarely happen, and in most cases the flower cannons are either in your security or only really pop up once you already have a Taiga on the field. Since you play more Taigas, then you have flower cannons. Worst case scenario, you'll have to have a Puppet Mon on the field if you wanna, you know, use flower cannon from your hand. But it's really good in security, because if it's activated from security, it's essentially its main effect, but on steroids. It rests any of your opponent's Digimon except for blockers. So you can combo that off next round with a Puppet Mon. So it essentially just makes it so that you have perfect Puppet Mon setup. Anyways, this is it for my Red Tyrannomon Deck Profile. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!